welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajwa from Exceptional Makeup. If you have tuned into my channel for the first time, thank you and welcome to you. Today's video will be about how to choose a foundation shade for your skin type, your skin tone, and your skin complexion. Before I go any further, let me elaborate on the three mentions. When I talk about skin type, I'm referring to whether you've got dry, oily, combination, or normal skin. The process of determining your skin type is by washing your face, drying it as per normal, and leaving it unmoisturized for about 20 minutes. You would then see what your skin is like. If it's dry all over, then you know you've got dry skin. If it's oily all over, then you know you've got oily skin. If it's not dry or oily, then you've got combination skin. And if it's all evened out, then you know you've got normal skin. Yeah, does that make sense? All right, so determining your skin tones. When we talk about skin tone, we're talking about the amount of pigment or melanin that you have in your skin. We all have melanin and pigment in our skin. Some have more so than others. Speaking of which, this brings us to our next speak. Talking about skin tones in terms of foundation leads to undertones, which is what we work with. In order to determine your undertone, have a look at the veins on the inner bit of your wrist. If the veins look a bit blue-purple, then you know you've got cool undertone. If the vein appears to be green, then you know you've got warm undertone. If the vein appears to be either or you just cannot simply tell, then you've got neutral. Now you've got people that can have a mixture of both. You can have neutral cool and neutral warm. I don't want to get too much into the technicalities of it to make your life a little bit more easier. So now that you understand how to determine your undertones, it'll be easier for you to try and color match yourself. The next mention was skin complexion. When I talk about skin complexion, I'm talking about descriptive you. When you look at me, I'm of a darker complexion. When we look at you, you might be medium, fair, or light, right? So that's what we mean by complexions. All right, now we've got an occasion coming up. We've never used foundation before, and we need to get our hands on one in order to look flawless, beat, nice, presentable, whatever you want to call it. So we go to a store, a beauty store, where we know there are experts there that will help us determine the best foundation for us. We walk in believing that we know our skin type, we know our undertones, and of course we know our complexion. So the first thing they do when you're in the store, they will ask you, do you know your skin type? Have you used foundations before? What type of foundation have you used before? What they normally do, they try and go with what you've used before, but what you want to say to them is to give you something that's beautiful, something that is outstanding, or something that best matches your skin type, something that best matches your skin shade, and something that's just beat, flawless, and all the jazz. You know what I mean? You've got to look good, so you have to sell it to them. So they'll pick up about 3 different shades, 1 that's dark, and 2 that's a bit medium, and 3 that could possibly match you. What they would do is they would swap it on the side of your cheek, which is where they should be doing. If they're not doing that, you need to stop them, okay? That is the best place to try and determine a foundation shade. And what they need to be doing is giving you a mirror for you to go outside for about maybe 5 to 10 minutes. The reason being is that in the daylight, the foundation looks different on our skin. And not only that, oxidation needs about that amount of time to take place. Oxidation is basically when the foundation mixes with your skin oils. You need to give it time to do that. So if you went to a shop, they swap it on your cheek and they're like, yep, that's a shade that best matches you. You have to think twice about that one, because later on you would come home applying the same foundation that matched you at the shop, and you will find that this does not work for me, and you don't want that. That would be time invested, that would be money invested. You don't want any of that. You want to avoid that. So you need to make sure that before you leave the shop, you've got a foundation that's fine for you. So at the end of all the oxidations and the waiting and all that jazz, you go back to the shop and voila, you've got a foundation shade that best matches you. Now bear in mind that you need to be very careful depending on your skin type. you select a foundation that's suitable for you. If you've got dry skin, you would want to go for the more moisturizing foundations with SPF in them. You would go for the creams, you would go for the liquid foundations. You know, if you've got oily skin, your best bet is to choose a foundation that has a matte finish. You want your foundation to last long. You don't want to start shining in the middle of nowhere. You know, you want to look good throughout the day. So you need to choose foundations that best suits you in terms of your skin type. If you've got dry skin, you need to bring moisture back into your skin. You need foundation that's moisturizing and all of that jazz. Vice versa for normal skin and combination skins. Okay? You need to make sure you're on the ball with those. Alright, so now that you know exactly what shade you are, you've gained a little bit of perspective on what to expect when you go into a beauty store next time with someone perhaps who hasn't watched my tutorial. You'll be able to guide them and help them through determining the best foundation for them. I hope you've enjoyed watching this tutorial and hopefully learned something from it. Please don't forget to share among other people whom you feel will benefit from this as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time in my next video.